Josie's in for Katie today. Have you ever hooked up with and or fallen in love with a coworker? Either one. 800-682-1075, judgment-free zone. If so, we want to hear about it. And then did it work out or not? Like you dated for a while, maybe you got married. We'd love to hear from you. 800-682-1075. Matt, have you ever hooked up with a coworker?
Yes, I have. Yeah. I was working for a minor league baseball team locally, Winston-Salem Dash.
Oh.
And I was a part of the in-game entertainment crew, I guess.
Yeah.
And, one of my coworkers, we ended up hitting it off. And
this is before Hannah.
yes.
I would hope so.
Yes. 100% before
Trying to
Hannah.
cause problems.
Yeah, we just kind of hit it off, and I shot my shot, and it worked.
Did you round all the bases?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Very
Okay.
nice.
All right.
Mhm.
Nice.
And how long did y'all like go out again?
We went on like a couple dates, and I think we slept together twice, maybe.
Okay.
And then the season ended, so we just kind of went our separate ways.
Hey, it's the off
Okay.
season, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I
recuperate.
found out too that she also like hooked up with a couple of the players. I was like, huh.
You gotta
I was
use
She's
like,
that.
a team player, man.
well, then I was like, it kind of makes me feel good. Like she put me up there with like these professional athletes.
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Like I'll
Yeah.
take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
'cause
were a smoke show back in the day. You're still a smoke show now as a
what
cuddly teddy
what
bear.
is wrong
Well.
with the females who work here, Jason? I mean, Matt. I love Matt. I think
you-
Matt is attractive.
Well,
No,
Have you
back
seen
then I was in great shape.
Have you seen the
For
picture of him?
when you're at the Dash?
Yeah.
My bad. I'll take it back. I
Yeah.
remember the high school picture.
Well, that was
Definitely
Yeah,
not-
looked
and the Dash was, I was not that skinny with the Dash, but I was definitely not at my biggest. My biggest came when I started working here full time
Oh yeah, of course.
because
Shocker.
I became
Depression.
super sedentary.
Yeah, I know. The hours are not good for weight loss.
No,
Yeah.
because with the Dash, I was running around constantly in the
Okay.
heat of the summer on dugouts. Like I was sweating
And-
constantly.
I take
That
it back.
being said, Jared, I hear all the time. I mean, to each their own.
Oh,
but there is
yes.
a big segment of women around that like the like the beer grizzly look.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's less. He weighs way less now, but he still has that rugged. And there's a lot of women that like that. I'm like the
Excuse me,
complete opposite. huh?
I'm married to the yes.
Well,
You're
he
right.
goes up and down in weight that I.
Yeah,
Your,
you
your
made that-
husband goes from
yeah, you say-
nothing to everything and nothing to everything every time I see him.
He
Yeah.
really enjoys when you tell him that every time you see him. He's the fattest
Whoa,
he's
what
ever
happened
been.
to
Yes,
you?
that's sweet.
Yeah, that's always a good feeling,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Every time I see him, he's a different person. So
He's like, God, every time I see you're a different person, you ate the guy you were last time I saw
Good to see you too,
you.
Jason.
And I'm like, Jason. He's like, I didn't call him fat.
yeah.
Not at all.
Those
Well,
words did
he-
not come out of your mouth.
he did mention about my height
Okay.
originally.
Yeah.
So once,
Has he ever
Yeah.
been surprised the next time he saw you?
no, he's like,
Wow.
He just said, "You even look shorter now in this crowd."
You shut up there, big guy.
Yeah. I like a big burly man, and I'll tell you what it is. And there's a whole Saturday Night Live skit about it with SZA's involved. It's a song, and it's about women, and pardon how I phrase this, but it's women like to be tossed around, is what it says.
Okay.
And I've always said it a little bit differently in that if I fall and break my ankle, on a in the backyard, a guy can scoop me up. My guy can scoop me up, carry me inside, get me in the car, get me to the hospital.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Well, no, my Carol tosses me around.
right.
Yeah. Carol's picking Jason up when he hurts his ankle at P. Diddy's house.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Come on, honey.
trust me, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like being spooned. I'd rather spoon. It's just
You would have to date someone very short and petite.
yes.
But some
Very short,
women I have a friend that says she likes her men to look feeble. She likes
Really?
skinny.
Yeah, that's odd.
She likes very thin. Maybe muscular, but skinny. She likes them to be on the
Skinny,
thinner,
okay.
the thinner side. And I've always dated tall, kind of burly men. That's my type. So yeah,
Yeah. My girlfriend Anna, when she wears her wedges, what do
that's
women
very
wear?
good. I'm proud.
She's like right at 6 feet tall, and I'm 5'9".
Really?
Oh yeah. She's 5'9",
Okay.
and then she wears wedges. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So we're the same height, and then she, is always wearing when we go out high heels or what. And I'm like, now as far as I'm way bigger than her, like,
Right.
I got her width all
Why?
day.
You can toss her around.
Yeah.
You can toss her around. Right.
But it is odd. This is the first one I ever dated that was basically taller than me. So, Jason, I kind of feel I don't really hate it, but
No.
sometimes I feel the first time I kissed her, I was on my tiptoes.
Yeah.
I had taken my shoes off and I walked her to her car, and I don't know why I took my shoes off, but I walked her to her car, and she's wearing wedges. And I'm
Oh
like,
my goodness.
and I'm like, good night, like straining to kiss her.
I've dated. Typically, I've dated very short girls.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole entire life. So Carol is on the taller side, but she's actually she's my height. She's exactly my height. She's 5'6". But for girls, it tends to be a lot taller because they're a lot of times wearing heels or wedges and whatnot. So then they tower over me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever hooked up with a coworker? 800-682-1075 or fallen in love? Let's go to Alexis. Have you ever done that?
Yes, I got married in October to my husband.
Oh.
And where did y'all meet?
He was at Clear Light Glass. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you.
That's fine.
But,
Yeah,
in
sure.
Kernersville.
Okay.
From the Triad. I recently, well, not recently, but I moved here from the beach and got a job at a glass company. And I fell in love with my manager. Well, my shop manager, anyway.
Ooh,
He was
that's
the
dangerous.
head honcho of, he was the head honcho of all the guys in the back. So obviously that was attractive.
So he was running. He's telling men what to do, and you're like, I like that.
Yeah, he was telling everybody what to do. Yeah, he was in charge.
Was he your direct manager?
He was not.
Okay.
But he was in charge of. Like, I was in the office, and he was in charge
gotcha.
of everything else in the back.
Yeah, but that's still, Jared, I think that's still a problem. Isn't it a problem if you're still in a lead or a management
role?
even if it's not direct?
They made us sign paperwork saying that, I can't use his position as leverage in the company, and I couldn't, sleep with him to get my stuff done. You know what I mean?
Too late.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, at least they
like
did
a
that. Some
funny
companies won't even
contract.
let you do it. I think they can fire you. I don't know for sure, to be honest with you. It's such a because I hear it all
Actually
different.
dating somebody else. So I kind of stole him, and then we fell in love, and then we got married in October, and now we have a baby. So,
All right.
Are you still working at the glass place?
I just recently quit after 5 years, but he's still the head honcho there.
Okay.
Is there a reason? Oh, maybe you don't have to tell us. Is there a reason you left? It had nothing to do with him. It's just want something different.
Yeah, nothing to do with him. It's just 5 years, too long. But no, it was a great experience, and I owe our
Sounds
whole
like it.
everything to that company.
5 years too long, but it was great. Hey, you met your husband, and now
Love
you have a
him.
baby. Yeah. Alexis, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing. Congratulations. All right, let's go to Mike. Mike, did you either date someone you worked with or marry somebody like a coworker?
Yes, I actually met my wife at my job. I worked for a tire company. I married up for sure. She's definitely she's like wine. She ages great. I tell her every day this is the best it's ever going to be for her on my side. Because obviously.
Does she still work for the tire company? Are you still working together?
No, we've actually went and got jobs since then, but we've been together for 10 years.
Wow.
So you work together? You still work together, but somewhere else?
Yeah, no, we don't work together at all now.
Oh, I
but we're
gotcha.
both sales now.
Like, I was going to say, if you have to work together,
Thank you.
if you have to work together with your wife,
Oh,
no. I would be murdered.
Yeah.
I would be murdered. Just about murder now.
Yeah, it's
can
like
you
you're-
imagine all day long, then all at night? I know people that do, especially people that maybe have opened up a business together.
Yes.
And they work nonstop together. I don't know how you get the break of that.
I think you're really putting a stressor on your marriage, but some people it works. Josie, we know you've hooked up with a coworker in the past.
Yes, I've been unable to forget it after so many years because Jason likes to bring it up every time. Yes, in a weak moment when I was part-time here. I was interning. He was part-time. He was the part-time night guy who filled in for people and did some things around here. Now, when I hooked up with him, there was no Von Dutch hat, and he was somewhat still normal. And then we slept together on a New Year's Eve party, and then he turned into this. He was
what you think? Yep.
he turned into this male Paris Hilton. He started wearing Von Dutch hats and really tight shirts with a pop collar.
Oh,
and
okay.
started pretending like, being the night DJ in Greensboro was the equivalent of being. He wanted to be it was right when like Ryan Seacrest came on American Idol. He wanted to be Ryan Seacrest. That was his goal.
I see.
And it went.
Well, that's because he now had a lot of options. Before he didn't.
Well,
And
Right?
no offense to our night guy Tripper. Like, he thinks it's great being.
right. It was a mistake. It was a.
You were an intern, huh?
It wasn't love. I was interning on the morning show, and he was part time, and so we might have hooked up like right when I got hired, but it was very early in my career. And
Was any alcohol involved?
Oh yeah, it was plastered. I don't even really remember it. But after that, yeah, and. I think that he thought that maybe I was still like, she still wants me. And I can assure you that was never the case. It was like
Makes it awkward. I know Katie, she's not here. She's out. But she hooked up with a coworker.
Oh, that's right.
He was hot.
He was very good looking. And
God, he
then
was
come to
hot.
find out, he hooked up with like 4 women that worked here.
And made them
Really?
all,
Oh, yeah.
made them all think he was one of those guys that would make every woman feel like they were the hottest. I remember being like, they were the hottest thing in the room. I remember being, I don't know, like 14 months pregnant, and I come to work with my daughter, and I can't even see my feet. I just know that I'm swollen and sweaty and gross. And he's like, "You look really great today. You're glowing." And I was like, "Yeah."
Can't get pregnant when you're pregnant. As Jason always says.
Right, he was that kind of guy. But it
She's
turns-
pregnant. She puts out. Let's go.
obviously. But apparently, he was doing that to every woman that worked
Oh,
here.
yeah. Jason, I'll tell you off the air, Katie, and then I know at least 2 others that worked here. At least. And there's-
Really?
there's not- and
There
there's-
was 3. I know
Okay.
3 at least.
I know 3 total. Is
Well,
there
my
4?
thing is, if this guy
With
is
Katie,
so
4. Oh, wow.
if this guy's so slick, couldn't he kind of went somewhere else with other types of women?
Well, I'm sure he was doing that too. I mean, we don't know, but I mean, he didn't work here that long. But I remember after they hooked up, Katie and them, like they would be standing at the end of each hallway, staring at each other, and like no one knew what to say.
We have cameras, Josie.
Oh. Yeah, but they're not on it, right? They can't see, right?
And according to that list, he did not have any sort of preference.
Okay.
No, they went all over the place. You couldn't see that in the
He
camera.
would go from
so.
he would try to get with a 10, and he would also get with a 2.
And he might have gotten one that's just miserable too.
Pass that list this way. I want to see it.
Yeah, you
Give
will
it to
not
Squid
believe
and
it.
let Squid put it against the
All right,
glass.
all right,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Don't let the camera see that. I
Yeah,
try
yeah,
to
yeah.
be discreet by only doing
Matt,
last
check that
names.
list out. Do you know those people?
The top one you wouldn't know.
Oh yeah.
The second one?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. The top one makes sense. If you
Yeah.
saw the top one, you'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, that one made sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know the top one. I know the second 2.
Not
And
in a
he's-
position in charge either. She was, I think, part-time.
No,
just, you
well,
know,
and
Okay.
he was
super
like
sweet girl.
a promotions person, right? And so he's a super nice guy, but and he was just being a single guy. But and the women, I don't know, but he also, was the one that Katie said, I don't think my phone is working anymore because he's not returning my phone calls. He ghosted Katie, and Katie had me actually test out her cell phone coverage to make sure the towers weren't down around her. She legit thought they actually dated a little bit. Like
Wow.
they did like their Jersey Shore night together. They go watch it together.
Right.
Yeah.
So you told this story.
Sure night. That's
He's,
crazy.
he's clever.
You
Yeah.
told this story on the air, and then I had a friend text me and ask me, without knowing the guy's name, this sounds really familiar. Is this so-and-so? And I said, what? She said her best friend had dated him, and he was like for a while, and he was supposed to come meet her family one day and just never showed up. She never heard from him again.
It was like a young Jason Goodman.
What
This
a
thing.
dog.
And
Ghost
Squid,
to
What a
ghost.
protege.
You can kind of do this stuff too. You can have your Love Is Blind nights and
Yeah.
watch with the girls instead of
yeah.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah. I mean, I've been watching The Bachelor. Could have a Bachelor.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
my guilty pleasure.
All right.
Watching it alone.
Single ladies. That's sad. That's sad.
Give her a rose. Give her a rose.
Not Jen. You stay Jen home.
Your neighbors at your condo are like banging on your wall like, shut up in there. I'm not watching The Bachelor alone.
Take her to the fantasy suite, dog.
I'm hysterically crying.
Hey, man. Hey, single ladies. Squid likes The Bachelor.
I
That's
do.
a good thing.
Just don't do it with a coworker, okay? I think if you've learned anything today, don't do it with a coworker.
I wanted
Yeah.
everyone to tell their story first because if you're in love with a coworker or hooked up with one, it might be what they're now referring to as office goggles.
Oh yeah,
Like
it's
beer goggles.
Like beer goggles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that you work with the same people and let's say Squid, let's say you're interested in Josie. But like
you don't have to pretend.
at work.
Go ahead.
Let's just say you were after working with her for some time. If you saw her out of the club, you might not ever talk to her, but just being
Yeah.
in the office setting for a certain amount of time, they become more attractive to you than they actually are. No offense to Josie. This is just an example, and vice versa.
Oh.
Just like beer goggles.
Yeah, I guess. But for me, I don't know why this happens to me, but the longer I see somebody, the more physically grotesque.
Repulsed. The word you're looking for is repulsed.
Yeah, I don't know why. And maybe it's because you see, and sometimes like I.
See, I'm okay with this. Jason
Not
and I,
you.
No, but we've worked side by side
I'm
together
not saying
for
you.
decades.
He's talking about Katie.
No, I think it has to do with you start seeing, just like any relationship, you start seeing the stuff that at first didn't bother you, and then it bothers you.
Right.
So
True.
in a marriage, you have all these little things that bothers you that didn't bother you before. I think that sometimes that happens at a job.
Sure.
I'm sure.
That's definitely true. So they're saying if you're a 7 on the street, you might be a 9 at work. After seeing the same person over and over, can raise their score an average of 2 points.
Interesting.
But I didn't say anything about
2
how.
points.
Now, after many years, I didn't say that. I think this is over a somewhat short period of time. But they're saying be mindful of that you might be viewing them way differently than you normally would, because that's who you're almost forced to be around because it's your job.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. You're safe. You're
Oh,
safe.
thank goodness.
No, you're safe. Everyone here is safe.
Everyone is safe. That's right.